Right now, there are approximately 13,000 nuclear warheads on Earth, 9 countries, every inhabited continent. Some are pointed at cities. Some are on submarines beneath the ocean, waiting. Some are in silos underground, connected to launch systems that can execute in under 4 minutes. Today, we are asking the question that nobody involved in nuclear policy ever wants to answer directly. What happens if they all launch at once? Not a limited exchange, not a regional conflict that escalates, all of them simultaneously. Every warhead from every country aimed at every target all at once. The answer runs through several distinct stages, each one worse than the last. And by the end, the question is not whether civilization survives, it is whether anything does. What 13,000 warheads actually means. Let's establish what we are actually talking about. 13,000 warheads, held by the United States, Russia, China, the United Kingdom, France, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel. The US and Russia together account for roughly 90% of the total. The bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945 had a yield of around 15 kilotons. That is 15,000 tons of TNT equivalent. It destroyed approximately 5 square miles of the city and killed 80,000 people in the first second. A modern US or Russian strategic warhead typically yields between 300 and 800 kilotons. Some exceed a megaton, 1,000,000 tons of TNT. That is roughly 65 times the Hiroshima bomb. From a single warhead, multiply that by 13,000, aimed at the highest value targets on every continent, with no warning, no interception, and no possibility of negotiation. These warheads travel by 3 delivery methods. ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, are launched from silos and are capable of reaching any point on Earth in under 30 minutes. Submarine-launched ballistic missiles, already positioned beneath the ocean near their targets, are capable of arriving in 8 to 12 minutes. And strategic bombers, slower, but carrying the largest yields. In reality, these systems exist as a deterrent the first 30 minutes. There is no defense system on Earth capable of intercepting thousands of warheads simultaneously. Every existing missile defense network was designed to stop a limited strike, a handful of missiles from a single rogue state. Not this. Within 30 minutes of launch, every major city in the northern hemisphere is gone, replaced by a fireball, a shockwave, and a column of radioactive debris rising into the stratosphere. At the same moment as the first impacts, something else happens. Every nuclear detonation releases an electromagnetic pulse, a shockwave of energy that travels at the speed of light and destroys unshielded electronics on contact. Within the first hour, human civilization is operating without electricity, without communications, and without most of the infrastructure that makes organized survival possible. The fires begin. The blast ignites firestorms, self-sustaining infernos that generate their own wind. There are no firefighters, the fire stations are gone, the fires burn until there is nothing left to burn. The weeks that follow, the bombs stop, the fires don't. They spread, they circle the planet. Within a week, global average temperatures begin dropping. Within a month, climate models project a drop of at least 7 degrees Celsius. Photosynthesis requires sunlight. With sunlight blocked, plants die. Food reserves in most countries last for months. Nuclear winter at full scale lasts years. There is no fallback food system. Every system fails at once. This is the mechanism by which a war fought by 9 countries kills 8 billion people, not the bombs. The reckoning. Here is what the modeling shows. A full-scale nuclear exchange, all 13,000 warheads, all targets all at once, kills approximately 360 million people in the first hours from direct blast effects alone. The famine that follows kills over 5 billion more. That figure, the survivors are not safe. Radiation exposure at levels short of immediate lethality causes cancers across years and decades. Children born in the aftermath carry elevated mutation rates. There are no governments left to organize a response. No international institutions are capable of coordinating aid. No economic systems to fund reconstruction. What remains? A decade later, sunlight returns, temperatures slowly begin to recover, the world is still there, the planet survived, the cities are still standing in the areas that were not directly targeted, the roads are intact, the buildings are empty. In those places, small populations persist, building something from what remained. But the civilization that built those cities, those roads, those buildings, is gone. What remains is the raw material of a potential future, held by a fraction of the people who existed before. Whether that constitutes survival depends entirely on what you think survival means. The only conclusion the data supports. This is not speculation. These figures come from peer-reviewed climate science, food system modeling, and nuclear consequence research conducted by institutions with no political stake in the answer. The data converges on the same conclusion regardless of which model, which country, or which targeting scenario is used. There are no winners. There is no version of this scenario in which a nation that launched first is better off than if it hadn't launched at all. There is no military objective that survives the climate consequences. There is nothing to occupy, nothing to govern, nothing to claim. Reagan and Gorbachev said it in 1985, and the data have only confirmed it since. A nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. The weapons exist. The scenario is possible. The outcome is not in dispute. 13,000 warheads. One outcome. Understanding that is not pessimism. It is the only thing standing between the scenario staying hypothetical and the day it isn't. If this is the kind of thing you think more people should understand, subscribe. Because the gap between this staying a thought experiment and becoming a news broadcast is smaller than most people realize. And don't worry, the next video will be significantly less likely to end civilization. So if you like videos that explore big questions like this, hit that subscribe button and let us know what you want to see next.